Statesman Nation here, week 3, as we're preparing for MidAmerica Nazarene. We have Coach Hafner here, fresh off a nice upset victory over number 12 Missouri Valley. So congratulations on the win there, Coach.
Thank you.
Obviously, we'll recap that in a second, but getting ready for Mid-Am, and you've got a home game finally.
Finally.
And I know it's only 2 weeks, but it just seems like, man, wow, September 9th.
And 3 weeks of preseason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, let's finally get on the turf and actually have a game to do. So, but yeah, let's talk about that Missouri Valley game. It's an upset on paper, number 23 over number 12. But they're obviously I don't know. I'll let you talk about it.
Well,
how much you feel like it's an upset, or how that fits in.
Well, just like us, their first 2 weeks were against the top teams from the north half of the conference. With Benedictine week 1 and then us week 2, and fortunately for us, we were able to go down there and we got a touchdown on the board right before halftime, and that was huge. Yeah, it gave us a lot of momentum. We felt good about what we were doing offensively and defensively. We just weren't scoring any points. Thankfully, they weren't either.
Right.
But the touchdown right before half was really big because they were going to get the ball after halftime, and if it would have gone in 0-0, you really never know. So, we're fortunate to get that touchdown, and from there, I really thought our kids kind of lit a fire under us. Our halftime was pretty energetic, and to be honest, when we came out, we thought we had a good plan going into the second half.
Sure. So obviously there was a considerable amount of re-preparing, adjusting at halftime. What adjustments did you guys make, if you want to make?
Well, I think, offensively, the biggest thing that we did is we decided that we were going to have to try and loosen them up a little bit. So right out of the gate, we threw the play action touchdown pass to Jeremiah. Again, got our team going. I thought our defense, went out, and their plan in the first half was fantastic. They were moving the ball a little bit, but they weren't driving the ball per se. It wasn't like they'd attempted field goals or anything like that. So again, our special teams came up big with a block punt, and so it's just one of those things where after halftime as an offense, we felt like we needed to take a couple shots. We did on the first 2 plays that we had the football, and then I think from there, we felt really good that they were going to lay off of us, and we were able to run the ball inside a lot more.
Yeah. Talk about Tyler Wood. You have a backup quarterback there. And thrown in the situation, that was his first ever start. He's seen a couple snaps throughout his career. I think maybe a couple snaps, to be honest. So really, putting him to the fire, and he performed extremely well.
Well, he really did, and of course, you look at it, and he made some mistakes. But I think last week during practice, because we were still preparing to have, JT as our quarterback, he just didn't get cleared through the clearinghouse. So last week with, Eric really not knowing what was going on, taking a few snaps, and JT taking some snaps, I think Tyler took 10 total snaps in practice.
So he wasn't ready.
So when we wake up, Saturday morning, and we tell Tyler, look, you're going to have to play, and he was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And we went over a couple things, but for the most part, his athleticism helps him so much because he can miss a read here and there and still be able to make a play just because he's so athletic. So, but he played fantastic. He really did. He played with a lot of energy, and I think our guys fed off that. And when things kind of got rolling there in the second half, and he got more fired up, our guys got more fired up, and it was just fun to see him mature as the game went on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have something I'm going to allude to in a second, but you've got an experienced crew that I think you can say they're experienced now, and then with a quarterback who's basically brand new.
Yes, he's inexperienced as
it gets, and how much did it sounds like he lifted them, but I'm sure early on, especially if he was having some some butterflies and all of that, they had to have lifted him early just to get him get his feet wet and everything. And
no question about it. And we kind of took it easy on him early. We didn't ask him to do a whole lot early. We relied on the guys up front. We relied on the experience in our backfield to do some of those things. But as the game went on, and you could see Tyler's confidence grow, we put a lot more on him. And when he did, he responded fantastically. You know, it was one of those things. I don't know if fantastically is a word, but
we're gonna go with it.
Okay,
is.
all right.
And if not, we're gonna check Webster's later. So.
Right. But he played great, and as his confidence grew, we started throwing a little bit more on him. And 4th and 3. We just run a triple option play, and he ran it like it was 1st and 10. You know, handoff, key pitch it to Carl, gain 9 yards, get a first down, and it's things like that there was no panic ever, and it was fun to watch him really grow because Tyler's our future. There's no doubt about it, and with only being a sophomore, he's got a bright future ahead of him, and we're looking to many more games like that.
Speaking to that experience again. You said last week, Missouri Valley's younger, they're going to go through some lumps like we did about this time last year. Did that experience lift us, especially later in the game when we didn't tighten up, knowing, okay, we got the lead, we just have to do a few more things, obviously being able to run out the clock at the end, big, with that experience.
Well, I think so, However, some of our experienced guys turn the ball over late.
Right.
But, it's one of those things where we just got careless. It wasn't like they were big hits or anything like that. We just got careless.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they're fixable. Yeah. And those Brandon and Nate fumbled the ball. They never fumble the ball. They don't fumble it in practice. They don't ever fumble it. And so, it's one of those things where it happened. Fortunately, we're able to still win the game. Yeah. Learn a couple lessons while you win. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, right.
I would never anticipate those guys doing that. In that type of situation again.
Right. Definitely. All right. Okay, flipping the page. We got MidAmerica Nazarene here in 2 days. A team that's 2-0. They've had a lighter schedule.
Sure. Yes.
They're early on, especially coming. Culver Stockton, now one of the teams that is obviously perennially at the top of the league on our side. Talk about what the Pioneers bring. They're putting up a lot of points. They're looking good on paper, but again, you have to look at who they've played so far and how much. What do they actually look like?
They're good.
Yeah.
They're a good football team. 2-0 is not deceptive. They're a 2-0 football team, and their quarterback returns from last year, and he did a lot of really good things against us, especially late in the game last year to help them win that. And defensively, I think they returned 6 starters on defense. So and they've moved a couple kids. They had a young man that was playing defensive tackle for them last year that's moved to the offensive line. So they lost some players up front, but they've replaced them with experienced players, and so. You watch them run around. They're extremely athletic, and they're just a solid football team. And I think if we do have an advantage, it is the games that we've played. Because really this could come down to a final drive of the game, and we've been in that situation. We feel good about being in that situation. Some of their guys haven't been in that situation yet this year, and hopefully, if it comes down to that, we can take advantage of our experience in those situations.
Yeah. Let's break down each side for them. Offensively, you talked about their quarterback. He's got the experience back there, put up some yards. Obviously, has a lot of weapons. Probably inside, outside, behind him as well, running the ball. But what are you looking at as far as keys to slowing them down?
Well, I think again they lost 4 out of 5 offensive linemen, and so those kids are going to start to gain experience. They're, like I said, they're extremely skilled on the edges with their receivers. They have 2 tight ends that can they're basically interchangeable. They'll play them at the same time. They'll play them separate from each other. They line up in a ton of different formations. They'll shift and move, which you have to be aware, make sure you're in the right spot. They lost both of their running backs from last year, and they were both fantastic players. One of them had a long touchdown run against us in the first half, and they're inexperienced at some key positions. However, their quarterback is returning, and that's always that could lift them out of that. So, defensively. They're not going to try and trick you. I think what you run into with good football teams is they're just going to line up and play.
And
they may do they're good, and they think they're good enough to stop you. And honestly, that's what good teams give you. They return 6 starters on defense. They return 3 linebackers. They return 2 guys up front and a secondary player. And skilled. I keep saying that, but that's what they are. You know, they've built their team around speed. They're not very big up front, but they've built it around speed. And to be honest with you, they're probably one of the faster teams we'll play all year.
Right. Speed can kill, obviously, but speed can also kill themselves in a over pursuing of an option situation. So I'm sure you guys have, you know what you're looking at, and there's some other wrinkles that could come into effect. Knowing that they are fast, that's fine. But if we do what we're supposed to do, and maybe we can use their speed against them.
Well, and I think last year, first play of the game, we noticed on film. They like to pursue. We ran reverse on the first play of game, touchdown.
Right.
I don't think we're going to do that again this year. I think they'll probably be ready for it. But
I think so.
However, we do have some things to try and slow them down. Running the option is one thing that slows teams down because they have to make sure that they read their keys and do different things like that.
Run the crazy,
Right, and so just by what we do, we tend to slow teams down just a little bit. But again, we may show up Saturday and they completely show us something that we haven't seen. We'll have to be prepared to adjust, and we feel good about the experience we have being able to adjust fairly quickly.
An area we don't talk about normally, but we have had success here the first 2 weeks, and they are also very successful here in the kicking game, special team side of things. Could very well, again, in a tight game, could mean the difference between a win or a loss. Casillas for them, boots the ball, probably one of the best in the nation. So obviously you never go in thinking, we're going to block a kick, like he did the last 2 weeks.
Right.
But talk about the special team side of things and how important that's going to be to make sure you don't, that maybe you can steal some points or at least steal some better field position.
And that's the whole key. And I think right now, and we talked about this last week, that we're so proud of the kids that we have on special teams right now, because a lot of those kids aren't starters on offense or defense. And they want to be, but they've accepted the role of being a really good special teams player. Luke Masters, Grant Smallwood last week, is a starting slot for us, comes off the edge and blocks puck for us. So our kids are giving great effort in the special teams, and that's the one thing that you always, as a coach, worry about. Are we going to give great effort on special teams? And it's one thing that we have not worried about this year. Our kids have been fantastic. We tell our guys all the time, don't give up field position, all right? And a big play in special teams changes the game. Whether it's a long kickoff return, long punt return, block punt, them blocking a punt can change a game in their favor, and so, make sure you're paying attention to the details. Know that this play could change the game positively or negatively. Just make sure for us it's a positive play.
Definitely. Keys to success. You guys are at home for the first time. You're going to feed off that home environment. Obviously, it sounds like it's going to be a beautiful day. Nice early season football game, noon start and all of that. Just talk about what's it going to take to come away with the W.
Well, I think for us, again, it's going to go back to defensively. Can we contain their quarterback? He's not as mobile as the one we saw last week, but he's probably stronger armed, to be honest with you. We've been so good on defense, and I think putting pressure on their quarterback and stopping the run. We talk about all of the turnovers and things like that, but aside from that, containing him and making sure we stop the run. And then offensively, we need to control the football. We had it for 8 more seconds than Mo Valley did last week, and we'd like to see that number, go up. Let's hang on to the ball late in the game. Let's do all those little things. But most importantly, I think we need to control the ball as an offense, keep their offense off the field, and give our defense every chance to go out there as fresh as they can.
Definitely. All right, Coach. Well, best of luck. Week 3. Let's get to 2-1. Keep rolling down the road. First home game, so definitely get your chance to check out Coach Hafner's Gentlemen at noon at Lacey Complex Stadium. If you can't, statesmanathletics.com is your home for all of the away people that can't make it and catch the web stream and all of that. Otherwise, it's also
and it's Navy out Saturday, so when you come to the stadium, be wearing your Navy.
Thank you. Definitely Navy out, and also tailgater. So the students get it free, but all of the rest of us will have to pay a little bit. But it'll be a great tailgater to get everybody ready as well. So best of luck, Coach.
It's gonna be a great day.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.